What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the SOOP Duel series. It's time for SOC versus Sacsri. Yes, this series is from 2024. Here we are on Citadel for our first match. SOC over here in the top right, Sacsri in the top left. And I have grown to anticipate, learned to anticipate SOC just kind of throwing things away. I'm gonna probably mess up these names a few times as well, honestly. Sak and Sacsri, or Sacsri and Sacsri, or Sacsri and Sock. Yeah, I'm already confusing myself. It is what it is. But yeah, the king of the throws recently, Sock has been putting out some pretty awful games as of late, but I'm here for it. We'll see what he's got for us today. Seems to always be placed up against Zerg players too, by the way. He definitely seems better with his mech units and fighting up against these Protoss players. In the TV Z matchup, he tends to be more of a teched out player going into 1-1-1 and that sort of thing. Not really relying on MM very often, because, like I say, it's just not his forte. It's not his strong suit. We'll see if he leans into that again here. Today we've got Sacsri with the 12 hatch. Gonna have to deal with this first Marine. Probably just pull the drone back into the main base. Don't get greedy here, Sacsri. Don't send it to the mineral patch. You know there's no lings out yet. And will indeed do that. Just sends it into the main and then back to the mineral patches. No big deal here, just a little bit of lost mining time, and so he is going to get back to it now. We've got a second barracks in the main, it looks like. Second barracks for SOC. And so this may be a Marine medic play from him. Close positions on Citadel. It's going to be a little hard to defend with sunken colonies. I believe in these positions you actually need to start the creep colonies before the Terran moves out, so that could be a problem for the Zerg if you build that just a tiny bit late and don't hit that timing perfectly. Could be in a lot of trouble. There's the Spire in behind the mineral patches. I actually prefer not to place the Spire there as a point of personal preference versus Terran. It's definitely good against Zerg because you can't get much surface area on it. It's okay against Protoss as well, but when you're talking about a Terran and they can, you know, drop in behind those mineral patches right up next to that Spire and have like a perfect little hidey hole for their Marines while, you know, hitting all the drones and then just killing the Spire. Yeah, see that little hidey hole right above the Spire? That is a very annoying location to try and get into. You have to go all the way around the right-hand side of your hatchery and get into that back corner. But Sacsri has decided, yeah, see, look, he's got to place down the creep colony early here. Even before the Marines leave the natural, he's got to do that. Third base very close. Sacsri going to take that right away here, and if SOC finds out about it, he can just kill it. And I think that Sacsri would just cancel if SOC scans that, or if he heads that direction, but SOC just staying back at home. Not really making any moves just yet, and we've already got mutas on the way, so was this a +1 build? I haven't seen inside the main base for a while for the Terran. Is this... what are we actually getting here? Our observer. I'm not keeping very good tabs on the builds right now, but we are going to see the mutas flying across the map, and the timing on those turrets looks pretty good for SOC. Eventually we'll get to see, you know, that +1. It looks like +1 build here from SOC. I see that eBay over in the top corner that's researching. Oh, flying around into the main. He knew that SOOP might be a little late on the turret in the main, and so immediately flying in here. Oh, it just barely finishes the turret. That's very good for SOOP. Sacsri has to bail out anyway because the Marines are heading directly across the map. Would be in a little bit of trouble. Ooh, Ling run by here. Gonna kill some turrets. This is very good moves from Sacsri. Just gonna jump on top of the Marines, and as soon as the Marines come out in force, running away. Ooh, not a very good engagement there for Sacsri, but on the outro, picks up the medic. That's a very good kill. Ouch, losing a muta here. Has to defend this third base. There's only one drone here, so he's got some time. Kills the second medic. There's only one medic to heal up all these Marines. It shouldn't be too difficult of a cleanup from this position. Bring in the Lings and target down these Marines. There's the last medic. And yeah, now everything's going to die really nice and easy. 2 mutas have died. 2 mutas only. Very nice cleanup here for Sacsri. The target on those medics and then just letting that one drone die. Allowing the hatchery to eat a little bit of damage so that he can get the best possible cleanup. Very good control so far. Decision making so far from Sacsri on point. SOOP has also managed to stabilize and sacrificing that bio ball to keep the mutas out of his main when he made that mistake with the turret. Not too bad. Like, things could have gotten really bad if Sacsri just kept on rallying mutas and broke open the main base with the one turret being late. Now we've got a transition incoming here for Sacsri. As you do, as soon as you clean up the Bioforce, this is Zerg player immediately throwing down that Hydralisk Den and Queen's Nest. Very good idea. Ooh. Bit of a micro battle here over at the third base. A couple of Marines made their way over there. Does get a drone kill for his trouble. The muta survives for now. Bio ball out once again, looking for some purchase here in the middle of the map, but these are great trades overall for Sacsri. He might be able to get in here and save this Overlord too. Losing a couple more Marines, or a couple more mutas, but the Marines will eventually be cleaned up. No more medics left. Trying to target down one more Mutalist. Nice pull out there by Sacsri. Just going to make sure that doesn't die. The low health Mutalist being pulled out at the last minute there. And now we've got 2 cleanups on these bio balls. SOOP is in quite a bit of trouble. Sacsri is going to be able to have a clean transition now. He's got the evolution chamber on the way. No pressure out on the map. And, I mean, we could go double evolution chamber, throw down 2 more hatcheries and go directly into Hydralisk Defiler. I think that might be a good call. We'll see what Sacsri decides. His evolution chamber there is not that quick, and so going directly into a bunch of Ultralisks might not be the right call. You're trying to go Ling, Lurker, Defiler into Ultra. Kind of more of the standard play. Ooh, a dropship just about got spotted there. I'm not sure if you actually saw that, but potentially might have seen the very corner of that dropship. Lurkers here on high ground have been scanned. Just gonna go ahead and burrow in that spot. Just a pretty good position to try and hold back the Terran. We don't want them to come into that pocket and then just bounce back and forth between the 2 bases. Here comes the drop. It's been spotted. Overlord here. Picking up on it right away. And drop into the main is not going to be too successful. This is a lot of mutas to deal with. Plus the lurkers as well. Easy cleanup here. Very easy cleanup for Sacsri. Sending some Scourge immediately over to the other base, expecting a 2-pronged attack. Really good calls here from Sacsri so far. I'm actually very impressed with him. I love Sacsri. I think he's a great player. But he tends to disappoint in things like the ASL. Unfortunately, not quite playing up to his ability. here today, I think he's doing a great job. He's really playing a top-notch ZVT. We'll see if he can take that all the way to late game. One of his strengths is that late game Zerg play, though. So I'm not too worried about it. You can see he's already well set up, having lurkers stacked under overlords, making sure that the first couple of irradiates can't just dismantle this defensive position. SOOP looking for anything he can kill right now. He needs to do something. And so he's going to go ahead and try to get this Overlord. But he's using a lot of time doing that. While, look at this. Triple hatchery in the main from Sacsri. He's going to pop a bunch of Overlords here. Start up all of these different upgrades. And, of course, Plague will be on the way here soon, too. A couple more Evolution Chambers coming up. I think we're going to see a full-on Hydralisk Defiler game number 1. Oh, catching on to some of the vessels coming across the map. This is a very good play. Now's the time for Sacsri to maybe start spreading out. Oh, wait. Going into the main here. Want to be careful with that. Needs a couple of Scourge to prevent a deep dive into that main base. And possibly a Eraser trick. SOOP might get desperate here, so... Oh gosh, he's having to kill all of his turrets back at home. Oh man, those turrets are really messing up the gas mining. In fact, there's like 5 SCVs on that gas just to make it mined correctly there, or at least get the total value that he could get out of that gas. I'm gonna go ahead and delay this. Yeah, mutas are on delay duty now. Trying to slow down any expansions from SOOP. And they will do so. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get a kill. Gets a kill on a fire bat. That's some good value. Out of the already irradiated Mutalisk. Looks like Muta's down in the bottom right, clearing out some Marines in that. While I think Plague is done. Got Plague finished and going directly into energy now. Hydra's coming forward. May actually target this stuff down. Well, not gonna target with the Hydras here. Okay, finally gets the target fire going. God, that fire bat lasts for so long. Very annoying stuff. Here comes the Marines. Do we have Plague here? Plague. Big Plague. There it is. First big Plague of the game. Of course, gonna go ahead and throw down an Irradiate. Nice target fire on his own Hydra just to get rid of that out of the pack. Keep these Hydras on high HP. Gonna start to utilize these. Oh, very nice target there again. Using these low numbers of Hydras to great effect, pushing back all of this stuff from SOOP. Sacsri gonna be looking for more Plagues here as the big wave of Lurkers comes forward now. Hydras and Lurkers pushing in. Big Plague can come down now. Gonna target down on some of these vessels. Gets another vessel. Hasn't been able to irradiate these defilers just yet. Oh, bit of a mistake here. Oh my gosh. All right, clean that out. Oh, hello. We are back in it. Looks like sound. Okay, there we go. We got sound. We're ready to go, guys. Apologies for the little break there. Had some trouble with the internet connection and some Discord problems as well, but we're getting into it. We got Sacsri here pushing out towards this 4th base. Gonna take that mineral only. Now, generally mineral only not that good, not that important for the Zerg, but when you're playing this Hydra Defiler style and you've got all these hatcheries ready, you can make an insane number of Hydras and Lings and really take advantage of that mineral only base. It does help out quite a bit. You're gonna need that fodder to break through these tank lines coming up. Big waves of Lings. You can see Lings are starting to make their way to the front. They are what helps you break through these lines of tanks. And in fact, he's just gonna push along the top side. Utilize Dark Swarm to protect his flank. But SOOP can't come around the bottom and then push straight through towards this natural. Dark Swarm right here on the edge. Dark Swarm, no Plague on the tanks, interestingly. Oh, and he has enough for a Dark Swarm as well. This is a really good push from Sacsri. Hitting pretty quickly. with this huge wave of Hydra, Ling, Lurker, and Defiler. Dark Swarm gonna get down here with the Lurker just barely managing to live under that Dark Swarm. I think it's on really low HP, but it's now invincible, will not be killed as Sacsri continues to push forward. Sak here faltering a little bit, 1,400 minerals in the bank, 500 gas. Sacsri spending all of his money. Look at this macro from Sacsri, even with his 4th base coming online here. I guess it's not quite online yet. He's just focusing on maneuvering this army forward, trying to get these Lurkers under Dark Swarm in range of the tanks, and it looks like he will be able to do so. Lurkers coming right up here to the front, gonna kill both of these tanks, it looks like. In fact, Sak does not pull those back, and so he's gonna get those Lurkers right on top of everything. Can this last wave of Marines come out to save? No. Sak taps out. Sacsri takes game number 1. Here it is, game number 2. Sacsri, bottom right. Sak, bottom left on retro. This is a good map. I'm a big fan of retro. Great Fighting Spirit remake. Leads to some pretty cool games. But I'm hoping that Sak won't try to keep playing Marine Medic against Sacsri. It just seems like Sacsri has the better end of all the trades when Sak tries to go MM. His control with his mutas early was sufficient to take down those bio balls and delay long enough to get everything online, and his follow-up was pure perfection. The triple hatchery in the main base. He could do it again on this map too, no problem. For sure, we could see Sacsri do exactly the same thing as he did game number 1. Maybe a little less likely considering Sak is down in the bottom left, and the usual third that Sacsri would take is kind of... Oh wait, on this map, wait a second. I'm trying to remember retro. Getting a little mixed up here. The third base is... The closer third base is at 6 o'clock. If I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay. Bit of a brain fart there, guys. No big deal. We push right through. And 12 hatch once again. Sacsri gonna scout with a drone. Will find his opponent right away. Gonna be able to harass this SCV just a tad. Does want to make sure not to get caught on the wrong side, though. Wrong side of the wall here. Wait for that SCV to start building the supply depot and then go for it. Try to deal some damage if you can. Don't want to lose this drone. That's the main thing. So getting it trapped inside the wall is a no-go. We'll pull back here once the Marine arrives. And there's the 1-1-1 finally. Okay, good. Sak gonna go ahead and make that factory. Not necessarily 1-1-1. It could be a mech play with just a fast CC behind the wall. This is a good place to do it. You're able to get the Ling tight wall and make only one to two Marines, and then transfer directly into this. You can see Sacsri wants to see if there's a CC. Can't really get too much information here. All I can see is the barracks still producing. And he's going to move his Overlord away around the top side, so eventually it'll make its way into the natural, but it's a little bit awkward here for a moment. Sacsri scouts his own main, make sure there's not a factory building inside his main. That's some good heads-up play. Also started the Sunken Colony pretty darn early. You don't have to start that until 3:30. If it's just a normal play, a normal factory in the main base. But he started it at like 3:20, 3:15, something like that. That's more of like a proxy factory timing. You get the Sunken Colony down at 3:20. You should be able to stop a proxy factory, 3:15, something like that. Really depends on the map, of course, but... And of course, where the proxy actually is, how close it is to your main. Second factor in the way. It's going to be a mech play. Love to see it. Hydras are going to be the response here for Sacsri. Hydra speed on the way. I think he's pretty much aware of what's going on. If it was going to be a 2 Wraith play, like a 2-port Wraith, then it's much better to get the range, Hydra range. But when it comes to chasing down vultures, you definitely want that speed. And not going to see any Wraiths coming out to start killing these Overlords, so it's actually pretty confident there's not going to be a dropship either. That Wraith would be arriving right around now if it was indeed Wraiths coming his direction. So going to come out with these Hydras, kills the Vulture very quickly. Now this Vulture's going to run around the side, but there's still a Sunken Colony here to defend. He's going to have to build a bunker back at home, maybe multiple bunkers to try and save himself. Start a Marine and start to get a tank out as well. Once the tank is there, it's going to be completely safe, but Sacsri is pulling the trigger on this and just going directly for this wall. He will be able to kill the supply depots, no doubt. These supply depots are going down for sure. And that's some nice compensation. You have to build some Hydras, some amount of Hydras to defend against the Vulture potential run-by anyway. So, you know, getting over here to the natural with the initial few Hydras is kind of like, really kind of like ZVP, where you're threatening the bust with your Hydras and then transferring into drone production. SOC really doesn't have any information. There could be a lot of Hydras coming behind this and then just going completely all in. So I'm a little surprised that he's not at least keeping his SCVs on the bunker. You know, have like 2 or 3 SCVs surrounding that bunker. Almost loses the barracks, which would be quite annoying. Now that range is done, can do a lot of damage to the supply depot and will end up killing it. Supply depot going to go down. This is some great play by Sacsri again. Taking SOC's build and throwing it for a loop. Third base is on the way. Already that macro hatchery done and +1 coming up as well. SOC didn't opt for a tank until just now. Comes down and should be getting into his siege mode shortly. We'll see what type of mech this is going to be for SOC. Is he going to go into a bunch more factories? No, 3 factory starports. So it's going to be a tech mech play. Up mech style for SOC. Maybe going for a vessel. Most likely will be just getting into +2 as soon as possible. Might go for like a drop, you know, get some vultures out on the map, try to deal some damage in the main or whatever, but primarily is going to be focusing on these upgrades. You can see Sacsri not mining gas right now. You do not need this gas. All you need is hatcheries. You're just building hatcheries and building drones. Would love to get in here and see what's actually coming, what type of mech this is. If it's going to be, you know, 5 factory, he needs to play a completely different style, but for now, in a pretty good spot, just adding on more and more hatcheries. Dude, he's going to have so many Hydras. Even if this was a 5 factory mech style, the amount of Hydras he's got. Okay, here's the Overlord speed. I think he'll probably sack an Overlord in. Oh, drop play. Okay. So maybe we won't see queens this game. Maybe we'll just see drops. And when SOC finally decides to move out, going in for a drop could be pretty powerful. Yeah, he's going to try and sack an Overlord to get the information. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of Goliaths standing right at that spot. So that's just a bit of bad luck for Sacsri. Kind of supply blocking himself there as well. That's a little frustrating. A few vultures thinking about going out on the map, but with this many Hydras right at the choke, he just can't get out. And you can see SOC has no information. 0 information about what's going on. And in fact, this drop will play a 2-part role. One is to try and get some damage going on Sacsri's side of the map. The other part is going to be scouting some information out, getting a little bit of knowledge onto what's happening. He's going to try and fly out here. Looks like he's just going to drop out on the map and get these vultures out here. Look for some sort of damage at one of these bases. At least figure out what's happening. Might go ahead and check top left or top right. Looks like he's going to try and come down here. Hydra's. Oh, the Hydra's turned at the last second. Hydra's turning there. Does have burrow, but there is a scanner. Gonna scan. Try to get a couple more kills here. One more kill. Not the greatest amount of damage overall. Sacsri building a lot of Hydras, but keeping a relatively low drone count. Only 40 drones total. Going up to this extra base can really start to produce a lot of Hydras. He's got so many hatcheries going. Gonna catch these vultures out in the middle of the map. Looks like those are gonna lay mines and continue to be a bit annoying. Looking for more run-bys and this and that. Some mines over here as well. Eventually, looks like Sacsri will catch on to that and end up wiping out these vultures. Yeah, he's got Hydras on this high ground. This is just good play. Good, solid control from Sacsri. You can see he's moving a bunch of different small armies around with those overlords, making sure he can remove any sort of mines on the map. Those mines can hurt you so badly with this mass Hydra style. There's the queens popping out now. Queens out on the map, ready to start gathering that energy and getting ready for some broodlings. We might see, you know, a full 12 queens, maybe even more than that. Go up to like 16, 18 queens. There's a scan. He sees it. Queens have been revealed. Not the greatest hiding spot there from Sacsri. Sacsri having a few Hydras on the high ground, but not having them exactly positioned to block the vultures from coming up. If you just have them in a straight wall, those vultures will never get by. Drop into the main base. Finally, the drop tech has been revealed. Right as SOOP is moving to take his third. It's a good timing to get in there and start to deal some damage. Gonna dive on top of these tanks. That'll be 3 tanks done. 3 tanks killed very quickly. Not really getting too much value out of those tanks either. And this is going very well for Sacsri. He's getting a lot of kills here. Could even try to dive. Okay, he's just gonna kill, what is this, supply depot? Okay, targets a supply depot. If we can get one more. I would go for tanks if I was Sacsri, but okay. Works out all right. Bunch of turrets are gonna get thrown down, and this is just good delay tactics for Sacsri. His next goal really should be getting more bases online. You want to get this base up here in top right. Maybe try to slip a base into top left as well, if at all possible. And delay this third base from getting taken, of course. That's always a good move. Slow that down as much as he can. Oh, these Hydras are going to get baited down the hill. Sacsri not paying attention to that. We'll lose a few Hydras here for free. I don't think he'll be able to bust this third base. SOOP is taking this very carefully. He's got a big wall of turrets now back at home. There are way too many tanks here. Now, this could put a dent in things, but I think the goal here should be just to trade a bunch of energy for a bunch of tanks and then call it a day. Send these queens back home. He gets a good round of broodlings. Only one goes down. The EMP was late, so gonna come up this high ground. 3 more broodlings, and there's only gonna be a few tanks left. Oh, I think he only hit 2 of the broodlings. Some of them went on the same tank, but he will be able to break this high ground. Sacsri getting up here on the high ground now, and there's just nothing he can do. SOOP taps out. Beautifully done there. Great timing by Sacsri to just get up in his business right as that third was going up. Gets the value out of the queens, and I thought he was going to have to take this a bit longer in order to sort of wear down Sacsri over time, get more value out of those queens, but that quick move with all the Hydras running up onto the high ground, very nicely controlled there. Hopping into game number 3. Sacsri bottom left. SOOP top center. Bit of a wet blanket so far this series, but we'll see if SOOP can pull out something that can stifle Sacsri. Get a little early damage going. That's what you need to do against this guy. Sacsri is excellent in the late game. If he can make it there unmolested, with no problems and no damage early on, then he is a force to be reckoned with. SOOP needs to get in there. See if he can't touch that economy a little bit early on. Cause some distress. That'll filter down into the later stages of life. As a Zerg player grows, he will remember those early days and falter. Sacsri throwing down yet another 12 hatchery play. SOOP just opening with his wall in here. Nothing out of the ordinary thus far. But I'm assuming that SOOP's got something for us. Maybe 1-Rax fast expand into 2-port Wraith? That's what I'd like to see. There's something crazy to mix it up. No, Sacsri is going to be watching out for that, though. He's well aware of SOOP's tendencies. His proclivity for 1-1-1 and teched out plays. I myself have gotten better and better at dealing with these sort of shenanigans from the Terran player. And the main thing is just figuring out what exactly is coming. What's the range of play that's possible in any of these openers? He's going to be looking at that CC coming down. He knows he's got some time here before any sort of 1-1-1 can start. That's for sure. Barracks, or sorry, bunker at the front. Sacsri knows that this is not a crazy one. Like, if he didn't scout yet, if the Overlord didn't come to the front first, then he might be a little bit scared of this. Maybe pull all his drones. But he knows if he just gets the Lings over here and kills the SCV, he's going to be fine. Oh, okay, the SCV lives. The bunker is going to finish up. It's just, there's not a lot of DPS here. Looks like he's going to build a sunken colony. Goes after the SCV. Not able to get it. Just going to cancel. Should actually be able to catch one of these Marines coming up. Yeah, the Ling deal some damage to that? No. Not going to be able to get much. Maybe catch the next one. All right, when this next wave of Lings pops, he's going to clear this. It's pretty annoying. Pretty frustrating for Sacsri to have to deal with something like this right now, but it's not going to kill him. That's for sure. This is not that much commitment from SOOP. He didn't build the 8 racks or anything like that. Didn't pull a lot of SCV. He's going to wait till the last possible second. Oh, God. He's really waiting a long time. 200? 100? Wait. Hold up, Sacsri. Why are you waiting so long, my friend? Okay, waiting until 80 HP on this hatchery. Finally pulls the trigger. Wanted to wait for, I think, speed to come online. I was going to go for the counter. Just need to get an SCV in that gap there with 4 Marines behind it. You should be okay. This really shouldn't do any damage. Try to hit that supply depot on the left-hand side, but yeah, Sacsri is in a bad way now. This is some good early damage. This is what I was talking about, guys. Throw Sacsri off in the early game. Get the tactical win for the late game. Try to touch that economy. It really seems like he's managed it in this game. in a good spot. What's going to be his follow-up? 2 racks. Engineering bay on the way. Gonna get those scanners out. Double scanner here. Don't want to be greedy. Go for a single scanner. You know you've done damage. Go for a scan. Check the main and natural. See what Sacsri has in total. And just counter it properly. It's probably going to be some sort of Mutalisk all in. Oh, don't come out. Do not come out, Sock. Okay, yeah, he scans the natural and he's like, oh my god, you've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Back up. Back all the way up. I'm going to lift off that barracks. I don't think that's a good idea, but there you have it. Sock going to open up the front here a little bit. There's a lot of Lings still available. And the turrets are kind of late, but there's not a lot of mutas. Mutas are very precious in a situation like this. There's only 4 of them. Gonna try and get a kill on that SCV. Not able to get it done. Okay, actually puts the barracks back in that position. He's gonna back it away now. The glaives are being bounced there. He can't allow that free damage, so he's gonna back up. If he just keeps building turrets here and just never stops building them, I think he's gonna be 100% fine. One SCV taken down, but there is so much work to do here for Sacsri. It seems like Sacsri is re-droning, though. Stopping at about 5 mutas and then just starting to drone back up. Queen's Nest on the way. That's interesting. I'm not sure what kind of plan he has with that Queen's Nest. Just making an immediate... Hive? Oh, okay, I get it. Hydralisk and... Guardian is most likely what we're going to see here as a Sacsri follow-up for Sacsri. Could be a bit slow, though. Just everything has been slowed down here. And he hasn't gotten really any damage with these mutas. So Sock is going to move out with a big ball of bio. And Sacsri is not going to be able to fight it very well with such a small amount of mutas. He really is going to be relying on these Lings doing a huge amount of damage, like killing this entire bioforce. Should be pulling out the injured mutas because they'll be very useful later on for morphing into Guardians, but so far not doing that. He needs everything together if he's going to wipe out this bio. All right, he's going to take this fight here soon. He's got to take this. Oh, he's going to back up even further. I'm not sure I like this. He's going to let the reinforcement train come through and see. Look, he loses a muta there for free. That was the low HP muta that probably should have been pulled out. Another muta goes down. This is really making things hard for the Hydra Guardian play to actually work out. Sock scans. He sees no third. Sacsri has that Hydralisk Den down and making that Guardian, that Greater Spire here soon. I'm so shocked that Sacsri didn't want to attack there with the Ling Muta and try to wipe out this Bioforce. He's just still holding those back. Waiting and waiting for the Muta to get a little bit higher in number. Finally gonna aggress with these Lings. There's the trade coming out. Lings are gonna do some pretty good work here, helping to clear everything out, and I don't think he lost many mutas in this force, man. This is a pretty good cleanup for Sacsri. Isn't going to be enough, though. Greater Spire is on the way, but we're past the 9-minute mark. You're supposed to be morphing morphing Guardians at 9 minutes, so bunch of bunkers are going to get made. He just needs to buy time for his tech to come out. Losing a muta here is really rough. Hydras are going to start to pour. Not a lot of overall gas for this Guardian transition, and we're going to have some vessels out pretty soon. All right, bunker there. And a lot more Lings. Oh my goodness, he's going to wipe this out. This is really good play. Actually, wiping out another Bioforce here. All right, and this Guardian transition is coming online pretty soon. Sock making a big mistake moving forward again. But it's very tempting to try and get on top of the Guardians as they morph. Just Sacsri not slacking at all in his production. Sitting here on 2 hatcheries. I don't know where how he's been able to make all these Lings. It's so many Lings that have been made. along with all of these Guardians now. The Guardians morphing quite far back. Again, doesn't want to have a SOC get on top of these. These cocoons are very vulnerable. Has some Scourge here. Here comes the Guardians. One Overlord gonna be lost, and single Devourer available. Got to bring up the Overlord as well, just in case there's some sort of Wraith play mixed in here. This is a hard position to defend against the Guardian. The Guardian's on top of the high ground here in a very good spot. There's going to be Scourge coming out soon as well. Sacsri pushing in, trying to make this work. It's been a tough game so far, and he's doing the absolute best, giving himself the best possible chance to make this work. Pulling out those two Guardians. First two Irradiates have been utilized. Scourge are going to come forward. Can he get a kill on one of the vessels? The vessel goes down. Suck, what are you doing? Suck just going to let that vessel fall? Link's coming into the natural now. Tanks are being sieged up here, as he knows that there's going to be a Hydra follow-up with this. Kills off the barracks, and he's pushed all the way in. Tanks are not the greatest against Guardians, guys. I'll tell you what. Guardians do pretty well against them. Lings need to be pulled. Lings need to be pulled to block these Marines from running forward. A couple of Guardians go down, but the Guardian number's still strong enough to continue this push. Trying to kill off these turrets here. Taking some damage. Even loses a Guardian to a turret. That's not what you want to do. Definitely not controlling properly there, but under this much stress, Sacsri is just trying to get this kill. Adding an extra hatchery here. Really good heads-up play from him to get that hatchery out right now. The tanks are gone. Lings are in the main, and Guardians are on top of these barracks now. Marines are going down left, right, and center. Two vessels can try to throw down a Dark Sword, or throw down a Irradiate, but it's not going to be good enough. Sacsri just dominating SOC, taking him down. Great play here from Sacsri. Dude, Sacsri is playing an awesome series. Every single time I think SOC has something going for him, Sacsri is able to completely judo flip him, just Aikido into another tactic, pulling out a different build that just completely undermines what SOC is trying to do, guys. 3-0 so far in this series. Apocalypse goes to Sacsri, and truly looking like a wet blanket here. SOC just not able to make anything happen. Here we go, game number 4. Potentially the last game of the series. If you guys out there in the YouTube world are worried about spoilers and getting spoiled by the progress bar or the timers in any of these videos, I've been doing it for a long time, adding extra time onto the end to kind of hide, anti-spoiler you for what could be happening in this series. But I've recently started promoting this add-on. The link is in the description. It was made by a fan of the channel who specifically made an add-on for Chrome and Opera that will completely block those spoilers for you. It will show you, it'll make it so those YouTube videos do not have any progress timer, progress bar, and it's very easy to turn on and off. Any upcoming videos are going to be, I think with some exceptions, you're not going to be able to see the game length or the video length. So for example here, if the video was very short, there wasn't much time left, you would know that Sacsri is going to win and SOC wouldn't have a comeback. But if you use that add-on, you're not going to see that video length. and so you won't be spoiled for anything. Anyways, guys, that's my plug for that. I'm not getting paid for it or anything, but I think it's just a great thing that a fan of the channel made. And a fan of Broodwar. Definitely deserves some support. Trying to block a little bit here. Slow down this supply depot just slightly. Force another SCV off the line here. Sacsri went for a 9 pool, and so he's bringing the heat right now. SOC scouted bottom left and then went straight to middle so that he could potentially scout some lings coming, and does a good job there. Spots those on the way, gonna have to block with some SCVs, and these Marines out. Oh god, the Marine on the wrong side. Okay, he will get through. SCV needs to be in that hole. Okay, does manage to slip through. Nicely done there. Okay, is he gonna be able to block this? SCV goes down. Marine pops on the outside, but we'll get behind this wall, and just one SCV going down. Trading up for a ling or two. Oh, third hatch before gas. I'm kind of a big fan of this play. I've never tried this build personally, but I think it's pretty cool. 9 pool, 6 lings, and then third hatch before gas. It kind of makes up for the lack of early economy with the 9 pool. Slows down your tech timings a bit, of course. You have a later tech, but it can still be a pretty heavy macro build with a bit of early pressure to deal with things like 8 racks or put on a little pressure like we've seen here in this game. Sacsri does not want to build any more lings here, though. It's just going to be pure drones from this point on. Wants to keep the threat alive of lings and deny any scouting, so you can see he's spread his lings out a lot just in case there's an SCV that comes out. You can shut that down and make SOC scared. Make sure he's a little bit frightened behind this wall, and in fact SOC going for +1, I believe. So he won't move out anytime soon. This is perfect for Sacsri. He's just going to sit back, drone to his heart's content, and get into a bit of a later tech play. You can see that layer on the way here. Probably going to come out around like 7 minutes, 6:30. Going to be popping those mutas. But it's going to be from a much stronger position with that third gas coming online really nice and early. Sacsri. I'm liking this build here. Kind of interesting that he went for this with the base over in top right. When I've seen other players go for it, for a style like this, they build the hatchery as close as possible. Like the third over in center right, something like that. But instead goes for top right. We'll see how that works out for him. Potential for something like a 4 racks play out of SOC. There's the Spire. And that third gas should be taken any moment. Ling speed is done. These Marines threatening the move out, but this is a very big map. Sacsri not too scared of that. SCV will slip out onto the map. This is some good play from SOC, actually. Just threatening to push. Getting the attention of Sacsri, and then sliding an SCV out to go and get that scout going. Looks like he's scouting over towards center right. Wants to see if there's a third there. Probably won't see this base in top right, though. Good chance that goes unscouted by SOC. I think some lings have been made in top right. And he's going to loop around this army. The army is kind of hidden out on the map here. Is that sunken colonies being made by Sacsri top right? I'm not sure. Yeah, he's built 2 sunkens up here. Now, I'm not a big fan of this, but he needs to do something to keep himself alive right now. And so I guess those sunken colonies are going to be the stopgap as Sacsri transitions into this mutilus play. +1 is done. Yeah, usually you'll play like this on a map where you can place the sunkens right on high ground, and so the army can't get up the high ground without fighting the sunken colonies. But here, if SOC goes to top right, he can move onto the high ground, his whole army onto the high ground, before actually fighting those sunken colonies. Now, a Queen's Nest coming up, plus an extra sunken colony. Sacsri a little bit panicked right now because he knows what a weird spot this is. Does have enough mutas, though, and he's got the third gas rolling, so he could have just kind of dealt with this with Lings instead of building all of these mutas, or building all these sunkens top right, and then transition into mutalist play. He would have been in a much better spot, but it is what it is. He felt a bit of pressure there, a bit worried that SOC was just going to break him wide open. And now he's here on 35 drones. Hardly any drones top right, by the way, working on those mineral patches. Just 3 and then maybe 2 on the minerals. So Sacsri just can't spend all his gas at the moment. He's having a hard time getting this mutalist number up. Hive coming up at the same time, so the transition is ongoing. Sak making the dubious choice to actually attack the natural rather than top right. I feel like that top right is still the better choice, but 6 sunken colonies here are coming up. Only 3 are going to survive this initial wave. And so the mutas come in from behind. I think Sak can actually break this. The sunkens just weren't quite ready in time, and the mutas number is not that high. Coming in from behind, he's going to be able to kill at least these reinforcements, but this is way too many Marines with this +1 timing. Sak gets in here, and he's going to start his comeback strong with this bust. Sacsri a little bit too fancy with this 9 pool. Switch into 3 base before gas. 3 hatch before gas. Does not work out for him. Sak busts in this front. The comeback begins. Okay, Sak top left. Sacsri top right. Getting too fancy. Nine pool on Vermeer. Not advisable. Maybe that's the reason why he thought it would work, but the rush distance is so far cross map on Vermeer. Really hard to get damage done and really hard to get that third base online. It might have even been better to have it at the center right. You know, it's not a high ground, but at least you can build your sunken colonies in a straight line and have kind of a choke to work with. Now Sak going for an 8 racks. Game number 5 here. We'll have that Mickey Mouse Wallen to fall back to after the fact. Wants to put on some really early pressure. Try to shut down Sacsri early once again. It's a 12 hatch, but the Overlord is headed in the right direction. This Overlord is going to make it to the natural as the first Marines are popping out. So we could see a full pull of drones and just overwhelm these early Marines. Most likely that's what we'll get. Sacsri Sak not aware of the location of Sacsri here just yet. And so needs to scout first. There's the Marines starting to build. The moment he sees that, he knows exactly what he's up against. Full wall behind is quite annoying. It's going to give Sak a lot of power here. And, you know, ability to just fall back into whatever he chooses. Can just start a CC immediately after this 8 racks eventually gets shut down. Most likely it's going to be shut down here. See how many drones he can kill to make his transition even more powerful. Gonna surround the bunker. Now that's a kind of a risky choice there, because the drones aren't as clumped up, so they can't get on top of the Marines as easily. He gets 2 drone kills so far. He should target down that SCV, man. That SCV is getting a lot of free damage, and it's very low. Only take 3 shots to kill it. Does get some extra damage there. Total 3 drones have gone down. Drone in the main. Going to begin mining this gas. I think we'll probably see... I was thinking Ling speed off of that, because you just can't really afford a layer right now. He made all drones behind this to try and hold off the follow-up from SOC. SOC going to cancel his bunker and go ahead and start ACC behind it. Just falling back to the wall. He thinks he's done enough damage. 3 drones pretty good. But as long as Sacsri didn't make any lings initially, he can transition out of this pretty comfortably. We'll have to make some lings now, though. As the SCV gets in here, he knows that there's going to be some Marines coming. 3 Marines making their way here forward. A couple of lings popping out. If he just has 4 lings, he can deal with this. 2 lings come down. A drone's going to be pulled off the line. Target fire on the drones. Going to deal with those drones pretty quickly. Gets a drone kill. It looks like he won't get more than that. Okay, pretty good. That one drone super low. SCV super low as well. He should be able to pull 1 drone just to kill that off. Only made 2 lings. Just 2. Did he make all drones behind it? Wow, he did. Sacsri making a good show for himself. Holding off this attack and giving himself all the opportunity to bring this one back. If you make a bunch of lings during an attack like that, the lings will do nothing. SOC will just hide behind his wall, and your economy is going to be in absolute shambles. And so the fact that he's made pure drones after the fact, and only a bare minimum number of lings, is giving Sacsri a very good opportunity. Wow, quite a few lings are being made now. Bare minimum number of drones to all in Muta. I think that's what we're going to see with some lings poking in. He's going to look to just crush this first Marine medic force and then all in with the Mutas afterwards. Sacsri can make something like 4 or 5 Mutas right off the bat when this pops. Oh, he makes a few more drones. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not all in Muta. Here we go. Here's the opportunity he's waiting for. Diving in. He's going to get right on top of this. Oh, yeah. That's a big surround from Sacsri. He can get on top of that Marine in the wall as well. Kill off all these medics. Medics, importantly, are going to be going down here. Target fire on those. Very good. There's only 1 Marine behind the wall, so he can target SCVs if he wants to. Kill as many as he can. He backs off here at the end of the day. Oh, another Marine pops out, so he's going to kill that as well. Really good decision making here from Sacsri. Now Mutas are on the way. Not quite as powerful of a Mutalist follow-up as I expected. If he went for the Muta follow-up that I was anticipating, just immediately going for Mutas, 3 drones in the natural on mineral patches, and non-stop Muta production, he probably could have bowled over SOC after doing that much damage initially. Coming in now with these Mutas. Be able to jump on top of some of these turrets. He's building turrets in the mate. Here we go, jumping on top. Getting a few kills there. Still may be able to just bowl him over. Honestly, this is so many Mutas coming in. The rallies are going to be very strong, and SOC just does not have enough Marines to contend with this. Just targeting down SCVs 1 by 1 as 1 turret hits his Mutas. The Marines finally come up. But again, back up to 7 Mutas and can start to kill off these SCVs again. If he just doesn't let this turret finish here, eventually can break through this position. He's just already done a ton of damage to the SCV line. Finally, a second turret finishes. And Sacsri are going to back off for now, just for the moment. Can come back in, though. Again, start to pick off a few more SCVs. Non-stop Mutalist production from him. Does have enough to get another hatchery going, though. So I'm going to send that drone down to bottom right. This is not all in from Sacsri because he added on those extra drones. He doesn't have the momentum that he otherwise would, but he does have a follow-up, a potential fallback is available. SOOP gonna start to push out. Looking to put some pressure onto Sacsri and force the Mutas to not just sit here and kill more and more SCVs. Not just yet, though, as more Mutas come in and continue to ravage this economy, killing off more turrets here at the back line. We'll be able to go after that. Easily takes it down in 2 hits and forces that cancel. Only 1 turret here in the natural. It's time for SOOP to move. He actually needs to go out on the map now. These turrets are not going to hold any longer, and he's going to lose way too many SCVs if he sits here and just fights with the Marines in the back line. That +1 coming in clutch to break down these turrets in 2 hits. Another turret goes down, constantly just withering this economy. Sacsri, another round. Oh, no, those are all the low HP mutas that were sent back home. I'm going to bring those to the front as well. Perhaps for a final kind of dive in here. Bringing everything over to that 12 o'clock position. More barracks are coming online finally for SOOP, but this damage is getting out of control. Looks like Sacsri going to move into this back corner, fight some of these Marines that don't have medic support. Killing off a lot of this Bioforce as it comes back here to try and defend, and then rotating back through. Gonna kill some of the medics as well. Oh, these kills are so painful, and Sacsri is running away with this game, guys. Finally, we're gonna see a move out here. SOOP has had enough. He knows he's in an awful position. 10 workers behind now, 18 to 28. Not even gonna be able to really produce off of those 4 barracks that he made. Maybe if he doesn't make any SCVs and he just makes Marines, he can produce off of all of this. Yeah, 5 racks. That is way too many for the economy he has right now. And so he's going to make non-stop Marines and just try to go across the map, try to get something done. But Sacsri is dogging him constantly as he comes here. He can produce enough Lings to overwhelm this, no problem. Eventually there'll be kind of an undeniable force. For the moment, he is a little vulnerable with those lurkers coming up. Perhaps SOOP can find some damage here. I don't think so. Lings are going to come up from behind. Mutas as well. This should be the death blow. SOOP, 19 workers remain. In fact, I think that Sacsri is just expecting to tap out. Yeah, he's just completely stopped here. Finally, he does get back to moving as SOOP moves out on the map with a small group of medic Marine. This is what he's banking on. SOOP hoping that this Marine medic force was not seen leaving the natural, and it'll just show up at the 3rd and kill the 3rd. That is his golden ticket. That is what he is praying for right now. If that works out for him, you know, maybe he gets the kill on the 3rd, but he still has to survive this incoming attack. Okay, here he goes. Moving into... Go! SOOP, go! What are you doing? Go, 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 go. Oh my gosh. I can't believe he's waffling like this. He needs to kill this base. Go for the Nidus. Nidus gonna go down. Nidus goes down. Drones are gonna fall. Target down all the drones. My goodness, SOOP. Shouldn't let out any of those go. Running up here into the front. Scan comes down. Bunker here is actually gonna hold. Bunker gonna kill every single lurker. That was a bit of a mistake from Sacsri. I think he misunderstood his position there, didn't bring in the mutas to support those lurkers, and now he's gonna let SOOP out on the map. This is bad. Sacsri missing that move out could cost him this game. He was playing excellent ZVT up until that moment, but now SOOP can start to remake SCVs. He's only made like 3 SCVs since that harassment. Can start to remake those now and get into a fighting position. If Sacsri kept all those lurkers in the front of the natural and just reinforced them slowly over time, he would have had a containment force that SOOP wouldn't have been able to break out of. He would have been stuck there just about forever. Now he has to fight him in the open field. And this Defiler transition is not looking nearly as strong, but it is still looking powerful as it moves forward. SOOP is going to need to bring some forces up here to cut off the supply train. Get out on the map with this bio ball as well. Force out some spells here before it gets right up into the natural. There we go. He will force a couple of spells here. Might even need to make some fire bats. SOOP gonna be in a bit of trouble here if this gets any closer. Still has Lings for the consume. Bio ball behind this to try and shut down reinforcements, but there's gonna be a Dark Swarm or two right in this natural. Fire bats in the bunker, but they can't reach the lurkers. This is a bit of a problem for SOOP. He's gonna have to lift and return to base. Bio out on the map, cutting off those reinforcements. No vessels here. Long way off from vessels is SOOP. Gonna radiate to actually make this work. Fire bats getting a pretty good surround here. And they actually kill any of these lurkers. The lurker's getting low. Not sure if they were able to take any of them down though. Maybe one lurker ends up falling. So many of them are low. But he just cannot kill this. A few more Lings are available for the consume, and SOOP will have to tap out. Sacsri pushing in, even from a difficult position, keeping his cool. I mean, he kind of lost his cool there, running forward against the bunker. That was definitely not advisable. Could have had a much cleaner closer from the position with lurkers in front, just getting into that Defiler as quick as he did. But in the end, inevitably, pushes in there for the win. GG, Sacsri. 4-1 in this series. Definitely putting on a good show for us. SOOP having a bit of a hard time, man. These 8 Rex plays and teched out builds from SOOP, none of it really going that well for him. Definitely Sacsri missed the mark in that last game. Not seeing the move out almost cost him in this series, but managed to figure it out. Managed to pull it together and get that counterattack going. That's it for this series, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, download the Antispoiler add-on that's in the description. Come over to SOOP Live and check out the live experience as well. We're going to be doing these every day for the next few days, and also doing live KCM and live SCSL as well. Tomorrow is going to be Light versus Hero. I've just been informed. Light versus Hero is coming out tomorrow. So that should be a lot of fun, guys. Don't miss out on it. Light versus Hero for sure. A higher caliber than this series we saw today. Sacsri putting out some great games, but SOOP falling by the wayside. We'll see if Light can have any better performance versus Hero. I expect a nice long series, a really deep and in-depth series. So don't miss out, guys. Thank you for watching. That's all for now. See you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.